go.
Welcome back to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy, Mike C-Roc. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support of my movement. I can't do it without you. I want to reach millions of people, maybe even 1 billion if we're lucky, and I can't do it without your support, guys. And please, I want to encourage you to keep pushing the Waymo movement. Like I said, we can only reach people with people. So, but I want to remind everyone of the Waymo rule number 1, which is to turn all setbacks, letdowns, any negativity into rocket fuel for your future. Understanding that everything you go through is a training session for your future. And if you wrap your head around that and really grasp that concept, your life will never be the same. You'll be able to handle things way better and produce at levels way higher than you could ever imagine. And so today, I want to bring this message to you with my guest and friend, Alex Kushneir.
What's up?
He is the co-founder of Icon Media. And I'm gonna let you tell your story and your bio.
Yeah.
I don't want to read a long bio here.
Yeah.
But welcome to the show, first of all.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And great to be here and connect with you and your fans. And a lot of stories to tell. So I'll help kind of explain and lay the groundwork of me and who I am and what I've done, what I'm doing, and where I want to go.
Yeah. So with the concept of the show, what are you made of? I just explained to you. What are you made of?
Absolutely. I mean, what am I made of? It's a great question. And I think I have to go back to my early days as a kid. I was an athlete. So I played Division I football in the Big 12 in Texas. I was a free safety at Baylor University.
Get out. I was a will linebacker for a Division III school in Maryland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There we go. Fellow football player. A lot of people. Yeah. I'm not big. I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds, kind of like a prototypical safety size, which is, I guess, at the average safety in the NFL is about that 6 foot, 200, 210. But, I was a walk-on. So that is part of my journey and really gives the essence of who I am and my kind of mindset. Everyone's like, oh, you're so nice and you're so kind. And I am those things, and I'm a positive person, but where my determination, my hard work, it's that football player mentality. Yep. When you step onto the field, I turn into an animal in a way. And I use that same mentality, when it comes to business and growing a business. I played, grew up in New Jersey, was born in New York City. I got injured, had a pretty good high school career. We were state champions, and then I had a big injury. So, everything's going great. Summer practice, summer's happening, going into my senior year, my junior year. I'm one of the only juniors to start on a state championship football team. Things are looking great. I'm high-fiving, I'm hanging out, I'm ready to go play big-time football, going into my senior year. Dislocated kneecap.
Oh, man.
One of the biggest I could still feel the pain, if you will. I don't know if you ever – I'm assuming you probably have some injuries.
I just felt it when you said that.
Dislocated kneecap, probably one of the most painful things I've ever felt in my life physically. Going into the summer of my senior year of football, and it really hurt my recruiting. I ended up not playing my senior year of football, and I had to go to a postgraduate year in Connecticut. So I was very fortunate there, and then was able to walk on at Baylor. I got in academically, and I actually got recruited by some 1AA schools in the Northeast. But my stubborn ass was like, I want to play big time. Like, my dream was always play big time D1 football, Michigan, Ohio State, big time.
What was what was your 40 time?
Four sixes.
Okay. Yeah. That's
in the 4 6s.
But I'm only 5'6" and 3/4. So,
okay.
The little short guy's tough, you know, but
tough and quick. Yeah. That was my thing. I was quick, very fast, shifty. And so, I went to the prep school. I got in academically. I told my parents are pissed at me. They're like, you're going to get free education at this school, this 1AA school, over in, I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head, and they were pissed, but I was like, listen, I want to play D1 football. Like, I have this dream and this determination to play at that level. I know that I can do it. Yep. Right. I have the belief in myself when no one else could. Even the coach was like, don't go to Texas and play football. You can't do that. You can't do this. And in my mind, I was like, screw you. Like, I know I can do that.
Right.
And so I did. I was blessed enough for my parents, like, all right, you know what, go ahead and we'll support you and we'll go do this. And I worked my ass off that summer. I gained like 20 pounds of muscle. I think I was like 172 that summer. I think I got up to like 188 that summer, and went to Baylor, walked on the team, made the team, and then started playing more than damn scholarship guys.
Yeah, baby. I love it.
And so that's kind of the groundwork of who I am and what I'm made of and kind of the purpose of it. And I can keep going, but that's really, I think I needed to tell that story in order for people to maybe understand a little bit more about me and my mentality and who I am.
And who did you play with that I would know there during that time?
RG3, Robert Griffin.
Okay, he was there then. Yeah.
Heisman. He was, I graduated college 2010. So he was there at the very end. And then there was a couple other players that got drafted. I don't think anyone.
Well, but you didn't like, so you were there, you were older than him. So you didn't run scout team against him then. And if anything, he ran scout team against you, right?
Yeah, he was,
or no?
He was a red shirt. He was a true freshman. Did he play? I can't remember if he played, but he was a redshirt freshman when I was in my redshirt junior year.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was there at the end, and then I can go down the football story a little more if you want me to, because there's a little bit more there.
Yeah,
because we're there.
Well,
so
Well, did you play against him when he was a scout team guy, or like
he was? I played against. He was my workout partner.
Yeah.
I mean, he texted me like a month ago.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy who still became friends with over time. So we were workout partners, and I remember we would do pull-ups. Like I think I was at like 22 in a row back then. I think I can do 2 right now.
Yeah.
And he we always make him laugh and stuff like that. But just an incredible hard worker and just a good dude and someone that I became friends with just after my football career. But during my football career, and this is one of the biggest things is and big decisions you need to make in life. And at that time, football was my life. Like there was nothing else. It was my love. My first love was football since I was 10. And I worked really hard to play as much as I did. 2-time letter winner. So I don't know those who are watching, when you letter at Division I, you have to play a certain amount of plays. You have to play, I think it's like 90 something or 100 something plays to letter. Mm-hmm. So redshirt in my freshman year. Then you go into your redshirt freshman year, right? Your second year, I played, I lettered. Then you go into your redshirt sophomore year, I lettered. And then I was going into my redshirt junior year. So I still had 2 years left of eligibility. I played three are gone. So going into my redshirt junior year, I'm running with the ones. Still no scholarship. I'm still a walk-on at this point. So everything's just and if you know Division I football, it is your life. That is what you do. Yep. You are a football player from 5 a.m. wake up to working out, then the classes.
You forgot treatments.
Yeah, treatment, everything. You got classes, then you got treatment, then you got a practice, film session, study hall. That is your life, right? So it's so much time, and mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. So I go into my coach's office, his name is Art Briles. Now, for those of you who are watching, Art Briles probably won't ever coach college football again. Art Briles was kind of masking a very, very just negative situation that was going on at the Baylor football team after I had left, of not covering up, but not doing the right thing when it came to rape allegations of former Baylor players. So something very, very serious. Mm-hmm. And he will never coach again. And basically what happened was I went to his office, going back to when I played for him, and I said, and I wanted to feel appreciation. I wanted him to say something like, everyone called me Kush. You can call me Kush if you want. But everyone was Kush. So I was like, Coach, like I'm working really hard. I'm 2-time letter winner. I'm running with the ones this spring. Like, am I going to get a scholarship? Like, give me some light at the end of the tunnel. Give me something. And it was anything but that. Like, it wasn't anything to like lift my spirits up. Like, Kush, we love you, man. Like, keep working. You're going to get it. Like, just something to get me going. Right. It was just like, I don't know. Like, it's just bullshit. Right. And I felt that from him. And I just felt like, I'm working so hard. How can I play for a guy like this? And that's how I felt. And I made the ultimate decision. I call my mom crying, going, Mom, I think I'm gonna quit football. Like I cannot play for a guy like that just couldn't inspire me. And I did. I left football. I quit. And you play Division One. I mean, we had Nike sponsorship. I had like 20 pairs of shoes and trainings and on my locker. I didn't take any of that. All I took was my nameplate that was above my locker that said Alex Kushneir from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. I took it off and I left. I said, I didn't play. I'm not here for the gear and shit. I'm here because I love the sport. And I really fell out of love with it because I didn't feel the love. And I left football and I never played again. And I still have dreams about it, but ultimately it was probably the right choice. I mean, who knows? Maybe I would have went to the league. I still had dislocated kneecap injury, so permanent knee issue, broken fingers, concussion, broken ribs. So probably in the end, it was the right choice. But I think it goes to show you that when you don't believe in leadership, whether it's at a football team or a business, it affects it. And it ended up, I was right. I mean, the guy was doing some pretty bad stuff. And so that's kind of the ending to my football story.
I remember, I'm big time into sports, man. And I remember all that. And I always think about the people that are around there. A lot of times people don't think about the team and the kids that are in there and the kids that got recruited there during this period of time. And
it's crazy. And, when I heard the news, I couldn't believe it at first. Really, I was like, holy crap. Like what? It must have been going on right after I graduated. Cause when I was at parties and stuff, I never heard of any of that. I didn't see any of that stuff. Right. And then I heard about it and I was like, what is going on? And yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
So Kush, what are you into now? What do you tell the audience what you have going on with Icon and all that?
So yeah, absolutely. So when I left Baylor, I really in college I studied filmmaking, film and digital media, and I went into that career full blown out. Got back to New York. I got a job at CNBC on a show called How I Made My Millions, and started working for them. First job in television, which was an amazing one because it's basically you go right to like a premium quality show as your first job. And then went on to go work for ABC Disney, for Katie Couric, other news organizations, the Huffington Post, and really building out a strong career as a producer, as a TV producer. And that's where I met Jay Shetty. And for those of you on here, Facebook, so he's got about 25 million followers on Facebook alone. He used to be a monk. We met at the Huffington Post, creating purpose-driven, positive impact content. So these were videos really optimized for social media that were inspirational, were positive, were good. And we did at the Huffington Post about 4.5 years ago and built a friendship and built a really strong friendship, really enjoyed what we did. And then after we left the Huffington Post, this is about 4.5 years ago, we did hundreds of millions of views there in this genre.
What was he doing? What was his position there? With you?
He was a host. He was like on camera doing a lot of interviews with high profile people, talent. He would help me produce some things. But yeah, that was his primary role and objective was to do interviews with really high profile entertainers, authors, spiritual thought leaders, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And we sat next to each other. We built a friendship and we just really enjoyed each other's company. And when we both left the Huffington Post, he went and really focused on his career and built a personal brand, and it just started growing and growing. I went to help go build a startup called Cheddar in their field production and branded content production side of things. Cheddar, they sold to Altice One for $255 million about a year ago. John Steinberg was the founder of that company. It's an over-the-top kind of like CNBC, young CNBC type of network. So I went there, but Jay and I kept that bond and kept that friendship while he was building personal brand and I was help building this Cheddar brand. So we reconnected and Jay said to me, hey, do you want to start a business? And I was kind of like, all right, like, what are you thinking? And we always had these side projects. Even when we were doing our own thing, I'd get him on Cheddar. We'd help each other out. He'd have a new show he wants to develop. I'd help him develop the show. We almost sold it, but it didn't go through to a pretty big company, but it was a cool show. And so, but we always helped each other out and kept that friendship. And I think that's really important in this journey. And as he started kind of this hockey stick-like growth, I'm talking 1.5 million to 2 million followers a month at the peak. Insane numbers organically. And I think that's because he never paid for a follower. That's why his follower and his fan base is so just, the numbers are insane and real. And so people started hitting him up, like Gabby Bernstein, New York Times bestselling author, Tom Bilyeu, founder of Quest Nutrition.
Quest, yeah.
Really big time
hey,
people.
Shout out to Jason Yates if you're watching. That's my buddy. He's one of my partners. He loves Quest bars. So.
Oh, awesome! There you go, Jason. So they started hitting Jay up, and then they said, how are you doing this? And he said it's through premium quality content and great distribution. And so basically, what happened was Jay approached me. And we started Icon Media, which is like a full-blown production studio where we develop these ideas for authors, entrepreneurs, brands, people who want to create premium quality, purpose-driven content, whether it's to help build a brand, whether it's to help build a following organically, to help tell great stories for the brand. And that's what we did. And it's been an amazing journey. We're almost on year 2. The first basically year, the first 6 to 12 months, I was really doing it on my own. So kind of going back, so we started this company. I quit my job at Cheddar. So I had a great career in television at the time. I had a great job. I was getting paid really well. I had a small amount of shares in Cheddar. And I said, you know what? I felt in my heart that this is the right move to make. Even though I had all this good stuff going for me, right, at the time. Partnering with Jay Shetty and starting this business felt like the right move. Now, my parents thought I was freaking crazy.
Of course. Hold on. I got to ask you. Kush.
Go.
Did you cash in on Cheddar when they sold? Did you still have stock?
I got shit. I got barely anything. Barely anything. I wouldn't have made that much. It gets diluted enough.
Okay. I had to ask. I don't even know if I had the place to ask, but I still ask.
I think I could have bought a really nice bicycle.
Oh man!
At the end of it, because you got to even when you get equity, when you get stocks in a startup, even if you're and I was one of the first maybe 25 employees. It just gets diluted so much, and then you have to let them vest. So when they vest, I mean, you need to be there for, it could be up to 4 years, and I was there for 2. And at the end of the day, it's like I can start my own thing that I believe could be something huge, like a Cheddar one day, God willing. Right. But yeah, I didn't make that big money. Yeah. So it didn't happen yet.
So then you and Jay got together and you were doing most of the work at first?
Yeah, so he's still doing it. I mean, he still is. I mean, he's got a #1 health and wellness podcast in the world. He's got his I mean, right now he's not touring, but previously touring the world, doing a lot of speeches at different huge companies, festivals, whatever, you name it. He's got a new book coming out, his own personal content. He puts about 150 plus videos a year, new videos a year, originals. So he's doing all that, and I'm focused on the business, on developing, and I'm hiring freelancers that I know at the time, right? To help me with this workload because we're getting so much work. And then eventually I first hire my first employee. Now we're at right around 20 full-time staff in about a year and a half. We've been in business, and it's been this amazing journey of a lot of ups, a couple downs. I mean, you get knocked around a little bit, you learn. These things happen in business, and we've been blessed enough right now to be in a position where it's positive, and we're growing even in the time we're living in right now. And just lucky to be healthy and being a company that's growing. And I think because we are purpose driven and from the foundation, from our core, it's allowed us to not survive in this time, but actually thrive in it, which is rare.
Right. Yeah.
Which is rare.
Now, let me ask you a question. So when you guys first started, look, a lot of entrepreneurs listen to this. And when you're going through the ups and downs, were there times where you felt like, man, is this the right thing? Did I make the right move in that first 6 months to a year?
Yeah. And this is my thing. And I mentioned it briefly, is like, I had a great career. I had a great career path, but I just felt in my gut, like, I mean, a lot of people like, go with your gut. And I really did. I've thought about it. Even though my parents like, are you sure? Like, I don't know, but the business, the bones of what this was there, right? The foundation was right. Like, we knew that purpose-driven content, that focus, right, on being of service to others. How can we help enhance people, communities, and the planet through content, through entertainment? We knew that was a thing, right? And it was great in the beginning to have those early clients. It wasn't like we didn't have any clients and we just started a company, right?
Right.
It was like the people were there and ready. So that's, I think, one of the biggest things also, is that we knew that there was a demand for it. And then we built around that demand. So I never felt in the beginning, the first 6 to 8 months, I felt really good. It was more in months 12 to 18 where it was hard, because you're trying to build a company. You trying to hire great employees. You're wanting to maintain the clients you have. You want to bring on new clients. And I didn't go to business school, man. I was a freaking film major.
Right. And then, so you had a break point at a year, 12 months in roughly.
Yeah.
You had to figure some things out.
You have to figure some things out, because not everyone is going to re-sign up with you. Even though you crush it for people, they're just, they're not always going to resign. They may not have the money year after year to spend on content development and creation. Because it's a full blown service. We're developing, we're producing, we're doing everything. And that's bodies, that's people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to run a company. Even if you're growing someone by 400,000 followers, eventually they go on to do it themselves, which is great. That's what I want. Hey, go do it yourself. It's fine. But it's part of pivoting and growing a company, right? And I think now that we're working with some very big brands, that year after year, they need to hire a business like ours for creative reasons, coming up with these creative ideas where we are, in my opinion, the experts in this genre. Between Jay Shetty, myself, and the business, we have probably over 7.5 billion views in this genre. And I don't know anyone who
that's
comes
just
close
crazy.
to us.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
It's crazy. And so we are the experts in this space. But there's definitely hiccups. I mean, and we had a huge client sign with us in the very beginning. I think they wanted to work with us maybe because of Jay in the early days. And we were, and here's just a story, right? And so big client, multi 6-figure client. And, we're thinking, oh, they're going to sign. And, their founders going, we love you guys. This stuff is amazing. And it was. And that's one thing I will say about what we do. We win like almost every single time for our clients. And that's an amazing thing to say and have, but we really do. I think we built such a solid team. And so, and I just want to be careful with saying, I won't say any names. I don't want to say the company, but
no. And by the way, I've seen the production, and it's fantastic, man. It's, I'm blown away by it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. But, when you start a business, sometimes, especially with someone who's pretty prolific as Jay is, the business the company who becomes your client may have other interests, right? Other than just being your partner. They're like, oh, if we sign with them, we can get his partner to be part of our thing. It's like kind of like a risk, but they were thinking. So anyway, Jay decided to make another decision, which wasn't in the favor of the brand. And it was totally cool. And it wasn't like anything, but that business that we thought was going to be either a new signing, like a re-sign up, that because we're like, oh, it's great, summer's almost over, and they're going to sign on. They're like, oh no, we're good. We actually hired 5 new people, and we're going to just kind of try to do it ourselves. And I'm like, and I, first time business owner, first time entrepreneur, you go, oh shit, there goes a whole lot of money that we thought. And that's kind of the lesson I'm trying to go, is like, when you think something is going to happen, right? And it's stressful, because now I got, at that time it was maybe like 8 people. Oh man, that was a huge client. Like, what are we going to do?
Put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Yeah. You really can't do that. And, then you kind of take, pressure off the gas a little bit, because you're like, oh man, we're chilling here. Like, we got so much business coming in, or this is going to close. Nope. You can't do that.
No,
you really can. And
you got to build your pipeline, man.
You got to, and it's a great lesson to learn, especially for new entrepreneurs, which I was, and I still am a little bit, but it's been almost 2 years now. And I'm lucky I have very strong partners and people within the organization that help support me as a leader of the company. But yeah, you can't ever let the pressure off the gas.
No, here's the thing. So businesses fail, not because they don't have great production. Like, you guys could be the best, right? The best doesn't win. Like my mentor Grant says. Grant always says this is the best known wins. And if you stop prospecting, then you're going to have issues, because if you don't prospect, that's your number one priority, is to get clients.
Absolutely.
Get known 100%. And get out there, right? And then you got to convert them at a high enough price and like enough margin to be able to make a profit.
Absolutely. You have to run a business.
And some people focus so much on how perfect their product is.
Yeah.
And
And
then
that was in the
one
beginning.
client, right.
Yeah. And that was in the beginning. And then you find out, okay, you fine tune, right? You make these adjustments. All right. This was right, but this was wrong. And, you're making these adjustments along the way. And that's, it took about a year and a half to finally get that right formula down of like, this is good for the business. The clients are winning. We're winning. Everyone's like, that is what we were always trying to do, but it takes time. You're not always going to get it right off the first year. Right.
Right. Exactly.
And so that's definitely something. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So what's the long-term plan? Like you said something about hopefully create something like a Cheddar, but like what is the long-term plan for you guys? The long-term vision?
Yeah, the long-term vision isn't necessarily starting something like Cheddar. So Cheddar's like a live programming and a live show. We're never really going to get into the live space. That's not who we are as a business. I'm saying that now and watch it changes in 5 years. But that isn't it. The true goal is to, I don't know if you're familiar with like a Participant Media or Soul Pancake. They're very large studios here in Los Angeles. We kind of want to create like the version 2.0 or 3.0, whatever they're in, of those brands or of those studios, where we have one vertical of the business that I think is going to do extremely well, that we're doing now, which is working with personal brands, whether you're an entrepreneur, an entertainer, an executive, thought leaders, a brand, a publishing company, and creating content for those types of people, right, as a client. And then the other vertical, which is something that we're beginning to do, is create original content for places like Netflix, like Hulu, like Amazon Prime, purpose-driven, entertaining shows, whether that's scripted or unscripted or it's docuseries or full-length features. That is the direction we want to go in. We want to make what we do in this purpose-driven, mindful genre pop culture. We want to make it entertaining and educational at the same time. That is what our
there is nothing out there. All the stuff that's on TV that you could get involved with and what do they call it when you're binge watching?
Yeah.
And even on, listen, here's another thing. On Sirius XM, there's very little positive channels. Like if they had a channel that was really purpose-driven, motivational, inspirational, talking about different things like that could better yourself.
Absolutely.
I think it would sell.
100%.
But, I mean, why isn't it there though? Like, has somebody done a study on it, or?
I haven't seen this. I haven't seen studies. What I have seen actually are some studies from McKinsey Group and stuff like that about Gen Zers. Excuse me. And also, I will say one of the silver linings during this time, during COVID-19, from a business perspective, is if you noticed, all of the ads and all of the businesses on I got CNBC on behind me. All of the ads on this channel are all about connectivity, about helping one another, all about purpose, right? We had to shift. Businesses had to shift their marketing tactics to become more purpose-driven, which is what we've been preaching from the moment we started this company. Yep. So COVID-19 has, I would say, forced these big companies, which we're talking to a couple of them, to create content that is more purpose-driven, authentically. What are you doing to help the planet? Are you creating more sustainable practices within the organization? Are you reducing plastic waste? What are you doing to help people? And the McKinsey study goes back and says Gen Zers will sacrifice the paycheck to work for an organization that has some sort of altruistic alignment that will help. And that is kind of the shift that's happening, because eventually the millennials, my generation, are going to be in their 60s and 70s, and the Gen Z are going to be the primary workforce. I mean, it's just going to happen the next 10 to 20 years.
Yep. We've been looking at that with the mortgage company as well, and looking at that. And we've structured Nations Lending has a slogan called Home Loans Made Human. And, we're all about that as well, because of course we understand those studies. But let me ask you this. What are one or two things that you've learned from Jay that you've implemented into your life that have helped you?
One or two things that I learned from Jay. He's such a smart guy. He is so bright. He's so articulate. I think, I've always been this positive person. Like no matter what's happened to me and what I've done, I've always been, the guy to, be the optimist in the group, but for working with him and becoming better and better friends with him throughout the years, is having a better daily and weekly routine to help me and enhance me from not only a cognitive perspective of just thinking more clearly, articulating my sentences better, because I'm very passionate. I hope you get that through this. I'm very passionate about what I do.
I feel you, man. I'm the same exact way.
And he truly does. He used to be a monk, and he meditates still to this day, at least an hour every morning. I think it might be 2 hours every single morning. And I took that to heart, and I may not meditate like he does every single day, but I do pray, either in the mornings or in the afternoons or at night. So I at least pray 2 times a day for, it could be a couple minutes, it could be 5. And I really use that practice, seeing what he does on a daily routine, because it's not about doing it once a week. It's about doing consistently, routinely, over and over again, and taking his routines and adapting it for myself, which has helped me tremendously.
Right. Well, look, Alex, Kush, I want to thank you for being here, man. And looking forward to a relationship going forward with you and your team. And first of all, that I want to thank you. And second of all, how can my audience reach you and engage with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. I mean, does everyone call you C-Roc?
C-Roc. My friends call me C-Roc. You call me C-Roc.
C-Roc. I mean, yeah, dude, it's been awesome just connecting with you. And, we've been just getting to know each other over the past couple of weeks, and just love your energy and everything you're doing, and what you do and what we do is aligned. And there's a lot of synergy there. And I think that's the most important thing in whenever you're building a friendship, a partnership, is that alignment is there from the foundation, and that doesn't drift off. So thank you for having me on and connecting me. You can find me on Instagram. I'm still building, my profile, but you can see I'm posting more and more. It's just Alex Kushneir, Kushneir. I have a couple videos. There are going to be more. I'll probably take some clips from this. But I've always been the behind the scenes guy. You'll probably see a couple photos of me and Jay hiking and in nature and stuff like that. But you'll be seeing a little more of me.
Now. He's getting ready to come out. It's the coming out.
You're going to see more of me moving forward. I think it might be time. Now's the time.
All right, Coach. So thanks for joining us, man. And guys, you've been listening to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy Mike C-Roc. Please go subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. And also, if you like watching these, you can go to YouTube at Mike C-Roc Ciorrocco. Check it out. I'll put this up there, and we are going to be back next time with another great guest, great content for your business and life.